Kia ora, my stars, and welcome back again. As I said before, I am probably going to be doing another reading following the reading on the sovereign extraction. And you are going to see this video, so you'll know that I've decided to load it. I think it's a little bit time sensitive, and that is why I'm also doing this reading today. And it's also very highly sensitive as well. This tarot reading is based on energetic patterns that I've been guided towards, as well as themes already circulating publicly across multiple platforms and commentators and other intuitive readers. As you know, I do normally stay away from these types of readings, but that reading that I saw from Shanta on Mystical Fortune Tarot drew me in a direction, and then also the reading I did on the sovereign extraction led me down this path. Not just me, my guides led me down this path. And once that door opened, my guides would just not let me close it. My team kept digging, and different threads kept showing up, and every time we tried to step away, another door opened. In this reading, it's going to be touching on global markets, royal power, the structures and unresolved shadow narratives that are resurfacing and cycling in public disclosure in front of our eyes. And please note, I am not presenting facts here. I'm reading the energy and I'm reading the tarot cards around the timing and the energies and the narrative pressures and what is shifting underneath the surface and what we're being showed. Please note, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Okay, now that's out of the way. Let's slow this down a bit and just take a breath with me, because this energy is heavy. It is not just emotionally heavy for me, it's also structurally heavy. And what I mean by structurally heavy, it is market pressures, institutional pressure, and narrative pressure. Excuse me, my throat chakra is acting up here, as you can tell. And I'm asking my guides to only bring through what is aligned with the highest truth available in the collective field right now. Not rumor, not fear, just pattern. And I'm going to be shuffling the deck as I normally do, and may the cards fall where they fall. And what I'm going to do today, and excuse me, Munchkin has just awoken from his sleep, and he is now felt the energy around this reading. As I said, I'm going to shuffle the deck as normal. I'm going to be placing my 5 cards, and I am going to then do the 3 cards, the 2 cards, and the 1. But today what I'm going to do is the first row of 5 cards. I'm basically going to be calling the core mechanism of what's unfolding. My second row of 3 cards is going to be the shadow activity and behind the scenes movement. The third row with 2 cards is going to be the containment narrative control. 5 of Cups. I haven't even shuffled yet. And then the final row, the one card, I'm going to call a collapse point, or a change point, or a turnaround point, whatever it might be. And then I'm going to be going and I'm going to be putting underlying energy cards as well, like I do as per normal. So let me go. And excuse me, my throat chakra is really acting up right now. Let me just hold on this for a moment. Angels and guides, clear and precise messages on this very heavy reading. And let's continue shuffling. Sorry about that. Cards are very jumpy, they want to talk. Now, as you know, I do read in reverse and upright, so let's have a look. And I'll cut. I will normally do 3 cuts. Let's go. 3. Oh. Excuse me again. Okay. Let's put that there. And let's put out the first row, and I'm only going to turn them around at the end. And we are wanting to be part of the conversation, so let me just get these out. And please excuse me, I'll be with you back. Sorry about that. As you can see, nothing has moved here on the table, and I'm just going to move this aside, and then we will have a look and see what the cards have got to tell us. Okay, let's have a look here. The Moon, Page of Cups, 8 of Cups, Chariot, Ten of Pentacles. Okay, if you've seen the previous episode of the Sovereign Extraction, you would have noticed that the Moon card that I've got here was the last card, and now it's coming into the first card. If you remember, the 8 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles? Yeah, 10 of Pentacles were on the underlying, if I remember correctly. And then we remember that we had the Chariot, we had the William energy as a second card. So the underlying energy was clearly trying to come through and spill over into this reading. Okay, so let's have a look here. The Moon. Again, it shows illusion and the fog, and it is related to the Sussex narratives. Energetically, the storyline functions as a media fog layer, pulling emotional focus during moments of institutional and other pressures. And I don't think it labels anybody as a villain. It just shows how narratives becomes containers for collective anxiety, because it keeps telling us to look here, look here, look here, but we don't see the creature crawling out of the water. Everybody's attention is focused on the moon. And if you remember, I mentioned the two towers here, the west and the east. And this path here is leading to something. Because in the previous reading we had the hermit standing on the top of the mountain. And the hermit was looking down. I'm just saying. The second card here and the energy that we're sitting in. This is a softer energy. It's an emotional energy with this Page of Cups. It is emotional access. And here Harry is coming through as an emotional doorway into the rigid royal structure. It's not a mastermind, an access point. And this is how influence moves, I think, when systems can't be approached directly. And again here, we see there is a line drawn. And I think everybody is also tired of all the surprises that keeps on jumping out from across the waters. And that is why I think we are sitting in this energy that we are sitting here. There's 8 of Cups here. This is a narrative substitution. This is what is all, I would say, this public commentary has already acknowledged. And I think these royal scandals are narratives. And these narratives are becoming very destabilizing for the institution to hold on publicly. And energetically, it focuses us on moves to a storyline that can carry emotional weight without collapsing a system. It is a redirection, I would say. And it is not randomness. That cup has been picked up because all these other emotions have now run its course, and it's left everybody empty and tired. But this one cup, this one emotion, has been picked up, and there's a definite direction that it is being moved into. You can see the determination and the direction of the walk. And it's also telling me that everybody has had enough. It's time to move forward and leave all these empty promises and these empty cups behind. But they've got what they need. And this Chariot here, the William energy again, also tells me that it is movement. There's relocation, and there's going to be a shift. Because you know that the Chariot is normally the bearer of messages. Messages normally come with a chariot, and a chariot normally runs things away. And a chariot normally brings administration messages, because this is not a fast chariot, it's a solid chariot. And it is the dark side and the light side, the side that we don't see and the side that we see. And if you have a look here, where does the weight lie in this image, in this scepter over here? And it leans for me more to things that we don't see, to things that we see. Because they've got their thumb on the narrative that we see. And here we've got the administrative whip or scepter that is driving things. And I also almost want to say here, if we have a look here at the water on the side and the line that there is, this Chariot always also wants to tell me that it almost symbolizes the move to California. And it was almost like it was a strategic repositioning into a different media and a legal ecosystem. And the changing how narratives are managed and monetized. But now, there is again a shift away from California, moving, extracting, because of a fear of other judicial implications. Ask yourself the question, what is one of the reasons why they would want to move Harry away from Nutmeg and move away from California? Go back and have a look at the episode before this where I pointed out the shape of the light in the Hermit card. And that draws my mind to the link. And Lady C mentioned it on one of her episodes, I think over this weekend, or was it on Friday? And she spoke about Megan's connection to the files that everybody is talking about right now. The EPS files. The EPS files. And there seems to be a link there. And now it seems that there is a movement away from that. And they need to make a plan. Because this can bring further bad exposure to the royal family. They are trying to move the Hermit, the Harold, away from potentially, allegedly, for fun and entertainment purposes only, away from a potential subpoena to testify. Because everything here, there is just so many little dots that are jumping out here at me, and so many things that are happening at the same time. And it is being managed. Slowly but surely it's being managed. This Ten of Pentacles. This is the dynasty. This is the firm, the family, the legacy, the monarchy. It is about the wealth, the legacy money, and the sovereign continuity. Have a look here. And then have a look here at those two images. It is the continuity onto a new generation. If you have a look here in the background, little dark-haired girl. I'm leaving it at that. The dark-haired lady. And if you have a look here, I've never noticed this. I've only noticed it now for the first time. You have a look then. There is that yellow dot on there. It almost looks like a crown, but the crown is not fully on the head yet. And there is no crown here. And if you have a look here, just have a look here. The scepter, the scepter. And I think this 10 of Pentacles here also points me into that meeting in Riyadh, that high-level trade visit. Is far more about locking in generational wealth structures and stabilizing the legacy power during markets that are volatile, and also surface level diplomacy optics. It almost feels to me like it is old money playing the long game, while the attention is elsewhere. Now let's have a look at the second row. I'll just flip them now, because if I get interrupted again, I don't want people to say that I stacked the deck. No, I can't believe this. You cannot make this up, people. The 7 of Swords came out in the Sovereign Shift reading. The 6 of Swords came up in that same reading. Justice came out in that reading, but in that reading it was in the upright position. There is definitely something about this. And yeah. And funny enough, go and look at that video and tell me. But if I remember correctly, the 6 of Swords was in exactly the same position in the previous reading. Exactly in the same position, in the middle. And look here. They are both moving forward into a different direction. But let's go here. 7 of Swords. Again, it's telling me these back channel negotiations. There's shadow movements happening. See? Shadows in the background. And this is where things are supposed to happen that the public is not meant to see, and it's not for public consumption. Because all the distraction is here. Nobody there is being noticed. You notice this little guy is looking over his shoulder, looking back. I got you. I got what I need. But there's a red beacon on his head as well, a warning. Yet, he thinks nobody is seeing, or he is not noticing what is happening in the background. They think they've got everything and they can take what they want, but they have not noticed what is in the background over there. This again, I'm telling you, it's a quiet exit. It's a quiet exit under the covers, moving quietly from rougher waters to calmer waters. It is gently being steered. This is giving me that real divorce and settlement energy. And it doesn't mean a public confirmation. This is an energetic signature that is repeated again here. It's a separation framework. And it is being worked behind the scenes. So I'm just wondering if this means that the two small figures that's always got their backs and their heads turned to the camera will be moved along quietly without notice as well. Or if that is still, because I'm just looking, they are sitting a little bit close to the edge of the rough waters, and it's almost that there's still barriers in front of them. Is it going to be a matter of time, or is it already happening? Things are definitely moving behind the scenes that we are not supposed to see. This Justice card. And reversed. And this is that unresolved scandal energy that is resurfacing. This is the public domain narratives that justice is not coming to fruition for the elite and the misconduct and the Epstein-Epps linked discourse, and everything that is resurfacing, and almost a cycle. Journalists refers to it, commentators touched on it, and other readers have also picked up on this energetically. And I'm not making any allegations, don't get me wrong. I'm merely reading the energetic reaction in this reading. And each time there's another cloud or something else happening, there's an emotional charge around the royal narratives, and it spikes. And this to me is pattern recognition. And I think I'm going to do a reading to follow on with that image that was released and was readily available all over X of a person allegedly that looked like Epps. And I'm going to be doing some digging on that, because to me that was just way too coincidental that that image came out around the time all the Andrew Mountbatten stuff came out again, just after everything else, when all these sudden file dumps started happening. And now, and it also just happened just before this big meeting of the Chariot. it makes you wonder. Every time there is something comes out. But yet everybody still feels that there is no justice. Let's have a look here. Row 3. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it. This hanged man came out in the sovereign reading as an underlying energy, but it was upright. The Magician hasn't shown itself, but let's have a look. Let me dissect within this reading what the Hanged Man is. We are still being dangled around. There's still a suspension. There's still containment. And this is reduced energy. And I don't know why it points me to Harry. And he shows up here for me as the Hanged Man. And this Hanged Man is being repositioned into a quieter, I would almost say more controlled role, while all the other structures, all the other turmoil stabilizes. And I almost want to say that I don't want to look at it as a punishment, but I almost want to say that it is a containment while everything is being recalibrated. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. And why would they want to extract now? Because the degrees of difference between connections are way too close. I think certain things have come to the foreground in the background that we don't know of. And with everything else that has been going on, this is now starting to make sense. Leave a comment and let me know. But please, 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 I don't want to lose my channel. I don't want to be demonetized. Not that I am monetized, but I don't want to be ghosted or anything. Please, just be careful. I'm really asking you nicely. Otherwise, I'll just turn the comments off. And this energy is driving him insane. Please, please bear with me. Sorry for that interruption. A duck tried getting into the boat and he started barking at the duck, so please, sorry about that. But also I just think the energies are just off the charts here. It's just unreal. And this Magician over here, what is above us is below. Look at that continuity, the 8, continuity, and that links in with the Strength card, which is the 8th card. But this is, everything's on the table, everything's been laid bare, but this is the media spinning. This is the crafting of a story. This is the orchestration of narratives. Illusion, delusion, trickster energy, redirection. Don't look here, look here. And this is to distract us from what is happening in sensitive markets and in these current geopolitical moments. And I think this is what's confirming this moon narrative here. It's intentional. It is the intentional management of narratives. And what's the last card here? Let's have a look here. Before we look at the underlying energy. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. I don't think you're surprised either. This is going to be the final outcome. This Tower moment here. This is the collapse of this constructed narrative function. It's not the destruction of people per se. You see, they've already jumped. They see what's coming. Especially this one here. He is seeing what's coming. And this is the collapse of the storyline. And this storyline has been serving as a buffer. He sees what is coming. Look at the hair. I know it's more like a yellow color, but there's got a bit of red in there. And there's got a bit of red around there. He, the Hermit, is seeing what's coming. But I don't think Megalomaniac is really seeing what's coming. And I'm not saying that this is the collapse of the crown. I'm saying this is the collapse of the fairy tale story and the narratives that we've been spun. And it's going to be a case of we can potentially save you, but at a price. That little crown is going to be knocked off her little head, according to my cards. Fun and entertainment purposes only. And this tells me that the Sussex narrative has reached the end of its usefulness. And the usefulness was a stabilizing distraction. And we've always been wondering how they've managed to maintain their lifestyle in California. Mystical fortunes have always asked, how are they maintaining it? Shanta has always said that these it's a King of Pentacles or something in those things involved. And this is telling me a story that it is making sense when looking at her readings. That there's always been a drip feed of funds, but now this narrative, because of proximities to parties involved and plants involved, now it's time to extract and get rid of the plant and move forward. I'm sorry, this reading is going on much longer than what I anticipated. Let's have a look. Underlying energy. King of Pentacles. There's a stabilizing financial authority or a power center. And it's anchoring the entire situation behind the scenes. Legacy, wealth, sovereign money, and long-term control. Have a look here. Okay, that card wanted to show itself, so I've got to play it. Nine of Swords. They've been through absolute hell and back. Oops. Did I say that? For the last 9 months or so. For the last 9 months, it's been an absolute continuous attack. And it feels like everybody should just surrender. And then look at the palm there. Now they can open their eyes and see what's in front of them. And if you look at the quilt here, the Tudor rose. The monarchy has been held and back for the last 9 months. Now it is time for them to start healing, bit by bit. Pull these swords out and start healing. There is light coming down. There is an end to it. The swords are not going to be pushed in any deeper. There's no more second chances. No more second chances here. This is it. This is the end. The story has come to an end. And that, my friends, is the end of this very, very heavy reading. Sorry that it's gone on much longer than I thought it would. But things were just coming. And again, sorry about the interruptions. Please do like, share and comment. And let me know what you think. But be kind. Be careful. Be in code. Let's always speak to you soon. Goodbye.